Hey friends, I am finally back here on YouTube after 3 or 4 years of not uploading content on here. I do enjoy uploading TikTok videos and creating skincare and makeup related videos on that platform, but I do miss my long form content. I miss being chatty, so I decided why not go back to my roots and upload a makeup tutorial here on my YouTube account. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, and I'm gonna show you a makeup routine that's guaranteed to make you look snatched. Since I've seen you last, I feel like my skills have definitely improved. So today, you guys are gonna be the judge of that, but yeah, I'm excited. A thing that I've learned throughout the years is I prefer starting with my eyes. So I'm just gonna start with my brows and then my eyeshadow, and then we're gonna do the base. I feel like that's the best way to make sure that there's no fallout sa face. So we're gonna be starting with the Get Ready With Me Cosmetics Brow Lift Max, and I just basically brush through my brow hairs. I don't necessarily press it in, it will do that itself kasi this one is a very strong hold formula. So that's how it's going to look like. I know it looks kind of funny, but trust me, it's gonna look decent. And then we're just gonna do the same thing on the other brow, and then you're gonna want to shape it along the way kasi once it sets, it's kind of difficult not to move. Now we're gonna be using my trusty Strokes Brow Sculptor Duo. So with this, I like starting at the base and then slowly filling in the areas where I want to fill in and kind of shape the tail towards here, parang downwards a bit. I also really love this brow pen. Ito lang yung brow pen na ginagamit ko talaga since I bought it. I bought this particular brow pen siguro over 10 times. It's that good. It's so freaking good. They actually repackaged this already. Kaso lang sobrang dami ko pa nito. I feel like I still have like 3 or 4 in my stash. So yeah, I'm just happy I got this at a cheaper price as well nung nag-sale kasi sobrang ganda ng quality na to. So that's the kind of vibe that I am going for. Now it's time to carve out the brows. So a tip is to only carve the bottoms of your brows so that your brows look a lot more natural. I find that if you carve the top as well, it looks like your brows are floating. So to carve the brows, I'm gonna use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I use the flat side. I prefer it because I feel like it's easier to carve with this type of shape. And then I'm just gonna carve the brows to my liking. So kind of like that. I didn't have to clean up that much because hindi ko masyadong kinapalan yung pag-apply ko, or like I was more careful with my application. So that type of vibe lang. And as you can see, malaki yung difference niya with and without carving. So talagang kahit sobrang konti lang ng kailangan kong i-carve, I still prefer doing it because it just makes everything look cleaner. Okay, so this is the vibe that I'm going for and I'm very satisfied with how it looks. Now we're gonna do eyeshadow, and the key ingredient or product for this is the Kaleido Stone Activator Eye Primer. I have been using the NARS eyeshadow primer for years, but recently na-discover ko to and I've been really enjoying it. So it's the one that I have been using a lot lately. You don't need a lot. Like, you see that excess product right there? Just use that for your lids and you're literally good to go. And as you can see, it evens out the color of your eyelids, so your eyeshadows will definitely pop more. And no, I do not and will not set my eye primer with translucent powder. I find that unnecessary. So now we're gonna start with the eyeshadow. For eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using this gorgeous Kaleidos palette, and it looks like this. Look at how gorgeous that color story is. I know it's a very basic brown. I believe this quad is called Cold Brew, but it literally is an amazing formula. Using a fluffy brush, I'm just gonna dip into this shade right here, and we're gonna want to focus that on the crease area. And you want to make sure na you take your time to blend because the time you use for blending makes the biggest difference. Honestly, for an everyday look and you don't want shimmer and sparkle, just do this and you're done na. Also, my favorite brushes to use for my eyes are the ones from the Morphe Ariel collab. They're super good. Next, we're gonna dip into the second darkest shade, and then we're gonna focus it sa outer corner and kind of do like a stamping motion towards this part of the lid, not super inwards, but just there. See? Just so that when I blend, I have an idea of where I should stop. Okay, so that's the vibe that we're going for. Now we're going to add sparkle. Best tool for sparkle in your eyes, still your fingers. I'm gonna use this and this looks so stunning. Once applied on the lids, it's gonna make your lids look like it's wet. Like, do you see what I mean? Now we're gonna add a wing, and my favorite thing to do is use the darkest shade in a palette. So like a black or like a very dark brown like this. And then I like using this to create my wing kasi it's a lot more subtle than like a liquid liner. And I've been really preferring a more subtle eyeliner these days. What I like to do is basically follow the line and then just go upwards from there. So follow the line, go upwards from there. You can see that. And then once you kind of have your guide, you just connect it. And I don't fully go until the inner part of my eyes. I just stop sa middle. I find that it looks a lot better and my eyes look a lot bigger doing that. We're just gonna define that even more and keep on building the liner till I'm satisfied. So that type of vibe. I actually want it to be a lot sharper than that. So what I'm gonna do is create a new line here, there, and follow that. I don't mind being messy here because I'm gonna clean it up with a Q-tip. There are days where I nail this and won't have to use a Q-tip anymore, but today is not one of those days. Already cleaned up the eyeliner with the Q-tip, and this is the look for now with the eyes. We're gonna finish it up later, but now let's do the base. For primer, I'm gonna use Milk Hydro Grip. I actually have a love-hate relationship with this primer. I'm gonna use 2 pumps. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it. Pero honestly, my days that it looks fab, and my days na it doesn't. But today, I am particularly using water-based products. I believe these are water-based products because whenever I use these all together, they work. And then what I like to do is pat it, warm it sa hands, and then pat it sa skin. I find that that is the best way for it to not look like splotchy and just weird. And again, key is to use water-based products with this one. But at the same time, hindi ko alam actually if water-based lahat ng ginagamit kong products with this primer, but these are products that work well with it. So yeah. For foundation, I'm gonna use this one from Pat McGrath. I'm just gonna put 2 pumps. This one is very runny and liquidy, and I really love it because it's a very thin, like the formula and consistency, but it's a very full coverage. And then I'm gonna mix it with the Lovely Cosmetics Beyond Blur Skin Illuminator. This one is particularly glorious for mixing it with foundation. I don't really like this mixed in with, just on its own sa face ko. But mixed in with foundation though, it's amazing. So we have about that much for the base. I'm just gonna use the end of a brush and just mix that all together. Tapos whatever excess, I'm just gonna put on my face. Now we're dipping in with a brush, and we're gonna see the transformation and magic. I know it's looking a bit light, but once I'm already bronzed up and once this is all blended out, it's gonna look decent naman. I also don't put super dami na foundation because I don't want it to feel heavy. So I am using the most minimal amount of makeup as possible. And honestly, with makeup, less is definitely more. At least for me. Like, the more makeup I have on my skin, the more I dislike it. Now we're gonna contour with the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Stick. I am using the shade Light Medium, and I just put it in those areas. I don't really put nasa forehead ko. I find it unnecessary to put cream bronzer on there. I'm just gonna use powder bronzer for my forehead. And then I'm just gonna blend it upwards, not downwards. So I'm just gonna blend it with stamping motions. I particularly love this shade kasi hindi siya sobrang warm, hindi din siyang sobrang cool. Saktong shade lang siya for me. Now I'm gonna color correct using the NARS Radiant Creamy Color Corrector. As you can see, sobrang well-loved na to. Like, yung packaging niya talagang and tinanggal ko na rin yung stopper. Gusto ko lang talaga simutin lahat ng contents nito because it's that good. I've been using this for like, I feel like 2 years already, and I know expired na yun, pero sobrang ganda niya lang. And I use it every single day. And I actually I just bought 2 backups of this. And sobrang hirap nitong i-source sa Philippines. So, nagpapasabay pa ako nito sa US. But this is honestly just so good at getting rid of my dark circles. For liquid blush, I'm using this one from Lovely Cosmetics. This one, you guys, is so good. I'm just gonna put it here. Not that much. You really don't need a lot. Just gonna use this brush from Sunny's Face. And we're just really gonna make sure it's all up in the brush. Just so it's a lot more even sa application. And we're just just gonna want to focus it here in this area of the cheek. And this one is such a pretty color. This is actually in the shade Fave Color, and no shock that it's my favorite color. So for concealer, I'm using the Pat McGrath Labs concealer. This one is a very good concealer. It's so very brightening. I should have put this before the blush, but whatever. I tried to squeeze the excess product from this sponge, so hopefully it doesn't lift product anymore. But look at how brightening that is. It's so cute how bright that is. And then whatever is left, here's a brush from the blush. I'm just gonna add it back, and I'm still gonna add powder, so I'm not too parang crazy na this should be super like bright. Now I'm gonna set my under eyes with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. I'm just using a triangular puff, and then I'm just gonna use that to set my under eyes. Recently, I have not been using loose powder for my under eye area. I find that the Charlotte Tilbury powder does not crease on me at all, so that's the only thing I've been using. For the rest of the face, I'm gonna set it with the Sunny's Face the powder. I really love this for like setting foundation or for just putting all over my face on my everyday makeup looks, because it doesn't really have much coverage. It has the smallest amount of coverage, so parang it just evens out and like perfects your skin. For bronzer, I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty Powder Bronzer. This is proof of how much I love it. I've already hit pan. This is the only bronzer in my life, I think, that I have hit pan on. It's so good. I just put it where I basically put the cream bronzer and then put on my forehead. I'm using the shade In the Sun, which I believe is the lightest shade, and I feel like it's perfect for me kasi it's not too orange, it's not too gray, kasi obviously pag gray, contour na yon. But like this one is just a perfect shade. Even if I don't wear like any foundation on, ginagamit ko to because it's just that good of a shade for me. Now I'm gonna contour the nose using the Kaleidos Contour Trio. So I am using this middle shade right here, and I'm basically just gonna use that to shape my nose and try to make it look not as big as this. Thing is though, I'm not the best at nose contour, so this might not even look the cutest. But we are gonna make it work. Sometimes pag sobrang hindi ko na maintindihan, ginagawa ko na lang yung best ko na i-blend out siya ng sobra-sobra. Tulad na to, parang ano yan, girl. For blush, I've been enjoying mixing these three right here. First, dipping into the Tarte blush in the shade Party. Dipping into Bare Minerals Call My Blush. And then dipping into the Dior Pink blush. I'm gonna tap off the excess just once. And then we're gonna apply the blush starting here, and I find that this is gonna make it look so cutesy and just like fresh. And then some sa nose. That's so cute. For highlighter, I'm gonna use REM Beauty. I love this. I feel like this is the best product from REM Beauty. It is such a good highlighter. I am obsessed with this. It's like there, but not too there, but also it's not something na parang wala kang nilagay. Like, see how nice that is? You've got to experience it to understand how gorgeous this formula is. I also love using a brush like this kasi it will make the nose highlighter application a lot cuter and a lot more precise para hindi siya makalat. Apply it there and then on the tip of my nose. So to spray the face, I'm gonna use the MAC Fix Plus. I'm actually just gonna spray about that much. I don't want it to be too wet like I normally would. Kasi honestly, it's already like 2 a.m. and I am gonna wash this off after filming. So you're just gonna wanna let that dry, and then we're gonna continue with the eyes. I'm just gonna use this teeny tiny brush for the eyes kasi sa lower lang naman ako magfo-focus. And then I'm just gonna dip into this darkest shade. Tapos, I'm just gonna focus the shadow in this area right here. Just until that area. And then you're just gonna be patient and parang blend that out. Now I'm dipping into the lightest matte shade. I know it looks very sabog, but we're gonna extend the wing so it looks better. And then that shade, I'm just gonna put right here in the middle. Then parang slowly blend it with the dark shade. Using this brush right here, I am dipping into the shimmer shade and just dipping it sa sides. We're gonna try to get as much product on there as I can. So with the shimmer that is here, I'm just gonna apply it sa inner hanggang sa gitna para lang mag-match siya sa taas. Using the same sparkly shade, I'm gonna put that right in here to open up the eyes even more. Okay, so this is it for the eyes. I just extended the wing to redefine it. Now you're gonna want to curl your lashes. I'm gonna use my current favorite BLK one, and this one is just so good because it doesn't like budge, smudge. It claims to be waterproof, and it is waterproof, and it literally keeps my lashes curled the entire day. I mean, just look at that difference. So walang falsies yan. It's a slave. Whenever I use this like mascara, I get the most compliments about my lashes. And pag wala kang like eyeliner na to, or literally just mascara, lip tint, or even kahit wala lang kulay yung lids mo, talagang magpa-pop yung lashes mo with this. For lips, I'm gonna add this BLK Gloss Gel Tint. Sobrang simot na simot ko na tong lip tint na to, and I like adding it to every lip combo that I make kasi it just adds the biggest difference. Also, I wasn't the biggest lip liner girly and still am not, so I'm not gonna use any lip liner. I'm just gonna add the prettiest gloss to this look. And the gloss that I'm using is the one from Kaleidos. So this is in the shade Elixir, which is such a pretty pink shade, and I feel like it works for any makeup look. It kind of ties in with the blush, which I really love. If I were to keep this the entire day, I would spray it with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, but I don't want to waste my baby, so I'm just not gonna. But if I would have went out, I would have sprayed my face with that. This is the final look. I really love it. I feel like it looks like you spent so much time doing it, but literally, if real time hindi ako nagfi-film, I can do this in like 45 minutes, which I feel like is fast. And that's it for today's video. I really do hope that I helped you in some way with this makeup tutorial, and this makeup look has never ever failed me. It is my go-to when I am not sure of what makeup look I want. And yeah, I really love it. It makes me feel amazing. And see you in the next one. Bye!